Welcome back to another episode of the Two Pelicans Podcast. So you would have just missed that.
G'day, you Pelicans.
Here he was, he was sort of hung up on his door.
Go and have a good time with her a bit later on.
Pelicans landing in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to episode 8 of the Two Pelicans Podcast. I'm Joey.
And I'm Mick, and we are the Two Pelicans.
We are the fishing podcast, trying to make fishing great once again, and we're here to get you, the average weekend angler, through his work week with a big bloody smile on his dial.
And massive shout out to everyone that's been listening to us, supporting us over the last few weeks. We've had heaps of, we've had a couple of yarns at least come in, and it's going pretty good.
Going great, mate. Like Mick just said, huge shout out to each and every person, and our Patreon people see we're in a new studio again. I'm kind of liking this.
We're sort of, we're pretty homeless people, two homeless people.
We are, it's not the Two Pelicans, we should be the two homeless fishermen. But, mate, look, before we get into how we are and the run show of the week, I've got a bit of a surprise.
Righto.
I thought, why not drop it at the beginning now?
Right.
I thought it was only fitting that we had a little memento, a little bit of something each show to give the viewers a bit of a giggle.
Okay.
So here we go, mate. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
For our Patreon viewers to see exactly what's happening. Here we go, mate. Here is your own Pelican hat.
Wow.
So check that out. They are custom from Amazon, America.
Wow.
We're going to rip these bad boys on now.
Look at this shit.
Now, I'm just opening them on there.
It's a bit like having a long run on your head like a dickhead.
Now, let me tell you.
Wow.
A couple of weeks we're have to check those. We'll come in here for a thumbnail for our... we'll check those out.
Woohoo!
So, look, these are going to get a run in all the shows. Definitely an after, mate. What do you think of that?
No, surely they'll let us walk around with these on our heads at after.
I was pretty... I was pretty excited when I see this. We won't talk about how much these cost us after the purchasing of these hats. We're now in the negative. But anyway... That's a little bit of a... I'm digging it.
We could have a sword fight.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, what would you describe it as? A big penis-looking pelican off the top of their head?
Yeah, I feel like we could be like one of them trains like in Metro Sydney and just stick it up a bit high and hit the power lines and we get generated a bit of power.
I'm kind of feeling that's how it's going to roll for the show. Yeah. I'm thinking a bit of a gangster sideways pelican. But anyway, anyway, that's a little bit of a giggle for the show. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
How the bloody hell are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah, no, I've just been ratting about here to there, everywhere, and so I've just, I guess, news-wise, been looking for a car for the young fella. He had a bit of a go-bad a few weeks ago, so
which we all have done as a young fella.
Yeah, as we've all had them moments. So scratching around for a older four-wheel drive for him. Obviously been doing a bit of pelican planning with yourself.
Yeah. Got some big things in the works, which we're going to talk about at the end of today's show, so hang around for that. But
and also, just sort of working out stuff with Yamaha with Robbie and Alex there, just around some of the workings when this boat turns up.
Yeah.
So, and then finally, just a quick one, shout out to the people that done our poll last week around where's our fishing licence go to. So, I think it was around about 70% of people sort of go, they haven't really noticed it in their area. So,
and just quickly on that too, I had a little bit of a look at the stats, and that was one of our sort of more popular episodes for the amount of time that's been up. So I think it sort of hit a little bit of a nerve there with some people, to find that stuff out. So nice, mate. Well, I haven't been doing bugger all, just back into work now, flat out with the lure stuff, and went for a little fish on the weekend, which wasn't very conducive, but that's all right, mate. That's just all part of it. But
that's fishing.
It's fishing.
That's fishing.
And like you said, we've got a few little things planned, and that's sort of been...
So you can drink this. The Pelicans having a drink.
For our Patreon viewers, you would have just seen the Pelicans having a sip. You're going to have to go and check these hats out. Check it out on our socials. We'll put a picture on. They're pretty impressive. But let's just jump straight into Around the Grounds this week, mate.
Mate, look, I just want to probably just acknowledge that there's been a lot of comps on in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And look, I'm not going to cover all of them, but I would like to cover the ABT because I think, that's sort of...
Being semi-local for us as well.
Semi-local as well, but obviously a national competition is how I see it. And look, Mark Healy's won both them, the double header at Ballina and Tweed. And I think that's 4 for the year.
He's 4 for the year, yeah. I don't personally know Mark, but he seems like he's a bit of a weapon at the minute.
He's on fire, and also by doing that, he's wrapped up Angler of the Year as well.
Pretty comfortably as well.
Look, congratulations. Like, credit's where it's due. To win 4, I think, in that sort of arena is a pretty special thing.
For sure.
Not to take away from Mark's success, but I did see a comment or a post put on by Chris Hickson in regards to disqualifying himself for having 6 fish in the...
I did see that.
Yeah. Look, just from a personal point of view, shout out for acknowledging that and owning that and doing that. Look, there's a lot of people out there, as we know... that wouldn't have done that.
Would have had him for dinner when they got home and not said it. Look, and Chris is one of those guys. In tournaments and out of tournaments, he's just a genuine dude, and he's not going to take anyone for a ride. So, kudos to him. I didn't know the story, but I'd looked down the list and saw he donuted, and I instantly knew something had happened. When I saw zeros against his name, I was like, that bloke doesn't zero. Something's gone bad here. But, no, like you said, good on him.
Yeah. And look, the other one that I just... ran my eyes over was the Queensland Freshwater Fishing Tournament. They did a state of origin sort of concept. I think this seems a bit sus, but I think they've already had 2 in Queensland, which I think they've both won now. So Queensland have won that series, unfortunately. But look, I think they've got the last one down on the Clarence, I believe.
Yep.
And I think the team that come first there was Team Slow Rollers. So... anyhow, it sort of sucks that New South Wales...
up the mighty Road.
Oh, fucking hell. Anyhow, look, it didn't obviously pan out that way for New South Wales, but by all the photos and what I've seen there, looks like everyone had a smacking good time.
And that's all it's about at the end of the day. We're here to have a good time. I'm just going to jump into my news. I've got a little ABT one there from the comps, but a bit of a humorous one.
Okay.
So as a lot of our viewers may know, my boat was at both of those rounds.
Yeah.
But not with me in it.
Yeah. Your boat's been cheating on you.
Boat's been cheating on me, little bugger. But the tinny come good. I think he give Joseph, give him a top 20 and a top 10. And he was all the way from Western Australia. So the tinny held it strong for him, although... the tinny had a few dramas, which the tinny normally does. He only sunk a few times, but that's all good. But a bit of humorous thing out of that. So where we are here, not that I'm famous or anything, but if you know my boat, it's got the huge big jollet wrap up the side. You know I do YouTube. You know I make lures. I do get pulled up a fair bit when I'm out fishing. Say, hey, man, say g'day.
Yep.
So the boys drop the boat back and Joseph goes, we need to own up. We've taken a fair bit of credit for you this week. And he's like, do you have a bit of a following around here? I'm like, a little bit. Like, people know who we are. Yeah. And they were at the bottle shop, old mate, saying how good the videos are. And all these people thought that was me. And they're like, oh, thanks, man. So I just thought that was a bit of a humorous one, a bit of a giggle. And
so when you say he nearly sunk it, was he fishing out at the end of the break or was he...
It was a maintenance issue.
Okay, it was a maintenance issue. A bung maintenance issue?
No, it's had a little leak for a little bit, but I fixed it. And I tested it and I knew it was fixed.
Yep.
And then I wasn't stressed about it. And then, it's leaking again. It's just a silicone. It could be on one of the pipes, I'm pretty sure. A bilge pipe, something like that's got a slight leak. It's nothing big. A little bit more news there is Sedira have just released the new Saltiga rods. They look pretty neat. We'll definitely be touching on those at after. While they're a premium rod, look, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for, yep.
And look, there is people out there that might not, like I've got 1,000 rods there, but you might only want to have 10 really good rods. So that's fine.
Now, the one thing with that is, and an old saying that's always stuck with me, is that the poor man does pay twice.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, 100%. You feel like using good gear and you appreciate it. I'm sure these will be up your alley. The new bait junkies are set to release now. They were actually set to hit stores tomorrow, which I was going to show everyone tonight, the samples that I've got here that I've been testing out, but it's been pushed back to Tuesday, so I'm not actually going to show those.
Okay.
But we're going to go over that full range at after.
Can you show me off camera then?
Well, I'll show you. I won't fire me over you. But no, look, there is some really exciting, cool stuff in the bait junkie range. Anyone that knows me, I love my frogs. me 4.2 inch minnows, me 6.2 inch minnows. There's some really good additions to the range, so really excited to share that. I've got a bit of news actually. So one more, the film comp.
Oh, yes.
We're going to go down the rabbit hole of the film comp.
Okay, so just for everyone to recap.
Joey didn't win.
Joey didn't win. Okay, well, Joey didn't win, but obviously you've gone into this FCF, is that right?
Yeah, it's through the Film Invitational, guys.
Yeah. And obviously it was out of a dozen more?
No, there was like 38 entries.
38,
or something like that.
All right. And did you come last?
I don't know. We didn't. we didn't make the top 10, which I was like, look, I know how these things work.
Yeah.
I wasn't in a bikini.
Yes.
So, look, and I have nothing against guys that do that. Like, that's fine. But it is hard to compete with some of these guys have 80,000 followers also, and they're pumping it through their socials.
Yeah.
But, look, I was proud of what we produced. But, look, I'm not going to dive into it too much because the dudes that won seem like legends. But it's not the video that I would have put in the top 10, let alone have won.
Right.
But obviously there was some appeal to it. It was a humorous sort of comedy sort of style, which, look at the fishing shows that are out there now. There's these skits happening, so I can see why it appealed. But for me, a film invitational competition where you're trying to show the best camera shots, the prettiest country.
The best production,
The best production and a really good story.
Yeah.
I just felt it wasn't there. But, shout out to those legends. They've won and they're into the other one, so I'm not going to hold that against them. Legends.
No, good on them.
But yeah, mate, that's probably about me for Around the Grounds. Now, we've got a new segment, Mick. Before we get into the weekly run, I've lost my words. Weekly run of the show.
Our weekly topic.
Yep. Each week now, we are going to have a little segment that comes straight after Around the Grounds, and it is called the Mud Gudgeon of the Week.
Mud Gudgeon of the Week.
Basically, this is an award that goes to someone that's fucked you off this week.
Yep.
If you want to ring up or send us in your messages of someone that's fucked you off, he wins the Mud Gudgeon of the Week award.
Yeah.
Nick, who was your Mud Gudgeon of the Week?
Look, Mud Gudgeon of the Week is Macca's, and I'm not going to get too far into which one it was or whatever, but look, I might have been helping some guys out on Sunday there, and we decided that, hey, Mick, you go down and get some Macca's, no dramas, righto. So I've gone through the drive-through, paid me money, I'm sitting in the waiting bay, right? So, I said, go to waiting bay number 2. So there I am for 10 fucking minutes, right?
And nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened. So I thought to myself, I'll just give these guys a call. I'm not walking up 2 stories a flight to fucking abuse them, right? I'll just do it over.
Oh, that's narrowed down the Maccas.
Yeah. Well, there's still a couple.
Google 2-story Maccas in New South Wales. Hot tip.
Anyhow, so long story short, I rang them up and said, look, I've been here for 10 minutes. What's going on? This is a joke. Oh, sorry about this, sir. We'll get it down to you straight away. Now, funnily enough, there was a car in front of me that had been waiting just as long. So the orders come shot out, given to that guy.
And see you later.
Gone back upstairs, and then I'm thinking to myself, I bet you that was my fucking order. Anyhow, so I felt sorry for the people in front of me because they were probably there for another 2 minutes longer, right? And they had a kid in the back seat. And
they needed to get going.
Full carry on. Anyhow, so I rang him back up again and I said, look, I still haven't got my order. And she's like, but we just gave it to you. I'm like, no, you didn't. I'm still fucking here. Anyhow.
So poor old mate in front's got the wrong order.
The wrong order. But they were that shitty, I think, that they were just happy to go. You know what I mean? Like they were cranky. And then the person come down with my order that had the personality of that fucking saw over there and just went, oh, did I give your order to the wrong car? I'm like, yeah, I'd say you must have. So she's like, oh. So God knows where old mate's fucking order is. It's still bloody out in the paddock running around, I'd say.
So he's the Mud Gudgeon of the Week for you, brother.
Yeah, Mud Gudgeon, Macca's.
Yeah, right. Shout out to them. My Mud Gudgeon of the Week goes to PayPal.
PayPal?
Unfortunately, hopefully we're never going to get any sponsorship deals off PayPal. But look, yet again, I won't dive too much into it. But I don't use PayPal that much for income anymore because obviously I sell direct to shops, wholesale a lot. So that bypasses all PayPal stuff straight to the bank account. After Lure Expo, as you see behind us here, still got a bit of stock left and stuck it up on my website, all hunky-dory. And I always get just dribs and drabs, maybe like 50 bucks here, $100 here, but I never get big influxes because I only once a year sell direct.
Yeah.
So stuck all the stuff up there anyway. Last week, a couple of weeks had passed, and I was like, I better just jump over onto PayPal and I'll just like do one transaction out. I needed some little materials. No, sorry, mate. Because you haven't had an influx of money like this in years, we are going to put a 22-day hold on your money, and you can't access it for another 22 days.
What?
So I disputed it, and I think this has got something to do because I'm a business PayPal account, not a personal PayPal account also.
Right.
I've disputed it, and they've gone, no, sorry, your dispute's unsuccessful. We're going to put another 10-day ban on you.
So what happens if you have a 6-month bad spell and you're only making a couple $100 a month, and then next minute you hit power ban, you're making like $10,000 a month?
Well, especially like people say like me that like you make to demand and then boom, it's out the door. Like I'm not relying on that money, but it's not the point. My point is they've got my money making interest on it for fucking 32 days. The bastards.
That's right.
Anyway, shout out to them. And actually, I have one more quick mud gudgeon of the week. We'll give this a semi-mud gudgeon.
Right.
The fucking weather.
The weather.
Last episode.
Or the weather reporters.
Both. They both can go and get fucked.
All right.
Last time we recorded, I was fishing in fucking cyclonic fucking tornado seas, and it was too rough to fish.
Yeah.
Went fishing on the weekend, and it was too fucking flat.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me dead. Look, the weather can just fuck off. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that little segment. It's going to be an ongoing thing.
The mud gudgeon will make an appearance every week. Generally, there's something, easily one thing that probably pisses off once a week.
And look, if you legends get behind us and you start sending in at least a few mud gudgeons a week, we might even put like a little pack together or something like that for the mud gudgeon of the month or something like that.
So send it into the Two Pelicans Podcast at gmail.com.
100%.
And or send us a message through Messenger off our Facebook page.
Yep. And if you don't want to voice record, just send us an email. We've got an email here tonight. We'll just read it out. Just send it to us and we'll read it on the show. So.
If you've got any mud gudgeon stories, we'd love to hear about it because there's nothing better than getting your gears grind, I suppose.
Oh no, getting fucked around by an old mud gudgeon. Mate, let's jump into this week's topic, eh?
This one, after last week, Joey and I thought, we sort of, whilst we weren't serious, we sort of were, I guess, with that last topic. So this one is a little bit more, a little bit more jovial.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit funny. And the topic is the decky. The decky on the boat. Yeah. Now, look, I don't want to, put non-boaters always into this sort of category.
This is just in general. Fishing on the weekend.
Sometimes they might come in there, but my idea of a decky originally was they were up the front, they pulled the anchor up, they got all the shit jobs, right?
We're going to talk about some of the fuck-ups of your deck.
Yeah, then some of the fuck-ups. And I guess over the time, as we've sort of transitioned into that bit of tournament fishing, whether it be teams, whether it be a boat or non-boater scenario,
or just on the weekend fishing.
Just on the weekend fishing. I think, that generally people fish up the front of the boat. The captain does now because they're controlling the electric motor, but the deckie's still running around the back doing shit. Right?
Yeah.
So this week we're talking about the deckies. And
I'll be talking about when they're fucked up a lot.
Yeah, they fuck up the tripes, the things that they can do well.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So, what's some really shit jobs that you'd give your decky?
Packing the boat, 100%. I get to the boat ramp, I'll see me mate, I'll go over for a wander, especially in a tournament scenario. There's Bill, hey Bill, there you fucking be, mate. And old mate's packing the boat.
Yep. Look, I remember back in my younger days talking about the anchor, right? So you're out at sea. I done a lot of sea fishing when I was younger, and you'd say to them, righto, you're up the front of the boat, you got to drop the anchor out when I say, you got to pull it in when I say. And look, I've been on both sides of this story, right? So when you're out at sea, you're working with wind and tide, you're trying to line up your mark with everything, right?
Yeah.
You could drop that anchor 4 times and have to pull the fucking thing back up because you're not hanging properly where you want it to hang.
100%.
Yep. So I think from memory, that is one of the shittest jobs that I sort of remember.
Especially if you're fishing in 60 metres of water.
100%. And using for sea fishing and that as well, using big anchors, chain, you sort of had to be a little bit fit back in your days.
I I'm just going to quickly chime in there. Actually, I've just had a bit of a thought because I didn't actually put too much research into this week's topic. I'm just here to drink rum cans and wing it. But I remember as a young fella, there was a bloke in town, Fred, who'd always take me fishing in the school holidays, and I was the decky. I was only like 14, and hands down the worst job was fucking washing a boat when you got back. 14-year-old on his school holidays does not want to be washing some bloke's boat.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I've sort of had some different experiences. So I've been out fishing with a couple of mates out at sea a few times in a lot more bigger boats. And the guy that owned the boat actually was the one that wanted to clean the boat.
Yeah.
But we got the clean and fish job.
Yeah. Which, I love that.
I'm all
about it.
So, which way you ever want to take that, which is good or bad, I don't really know. So... does the decky pay, Joey?
No, the decky doesn't pay.
No.
This is how
I must be fucking tight.
This is how I roll. So, I mean, probably the bloke that I fish with the most, and I'm not talking about comps here. This is not paying your non-boat a boat of money. This is fuel money, sorry. This is just on weekend, weekend fun fishing. Me and Flinny, I've done, I don't know how many trips with Flinny. I've never charged him a cent. He might buy lunch or whatever. He'll buy fuel. It just works. He'll bring the box of beer. I'll buy the food.
Yeah.
It works. Now we're about to go away in about a month, and we're taking his boat and car. And I know he won't ask for anything, but I'll fill up the boat. I'll bring beer. and that's how it should be. And if you're good mates, that's just how it should work.
And that's been a good decky.
That's been a good decky.
It's been a good decky.
A not so good decky.
A not so good decky probably does not much, but
drinks all your beer and eats your food. And pays fuck all.
Yeah. No, look, shout out. I guess over the last couple of years, doing a few comps. Lenny the decky,
the metal bender pro.
Yeah, he's always made sure that we've always had a fistful of cans, and he's always made
good
sure.
Deckhand.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Decky.
That's all right.
But I think that's important that, whether it be food, petrol, cans.
And I think I'll just quickly stop you there. I think this depends a lot too. So when I refer to me and Flenny, we're both confident boat owners. We're both confident drivers. We fish. We're both probably on the same sort of fishing level. So when you're on each other's boat, you don't have to ask what you do. You just know, hey, I need to grab that.
100%.
When you take someone that's never been before, you've got to be a little bit more lenient on them. You're like, oh, hey, man, do you mind just grabbing that? Or hold us off that tree? Or, you know what I mean? It's different when you're experienced and not experienced.
Do you trust the decky back in the car and the boat in?
I've got a bit of a yarn.
Tell the yarn then, and then, we'll have a bit
because this is this whole episode, guys. We're just going to yarn practically. Look, I'm going to say this yarn respectfully. This gentleman I'm actually about to tell this story about is unfortunately no longer with us. R.I.P. to Mark. He's top fellow, this bloke. And anyone that has met this gentleman, I won't go into his full name, but anyone that knows this yarn or knows him, you've probably heard of this before. Top bloke. So we'll fish in a Bass Pro event. I had him as my non-boater. And I tell you what, I had the best time. The fattest day with this bloke. He was an older fella, just had a really, really good day with him. I had a big smile on my face. Got back to the boat ramp, and I would never, ever let anyone back my car or boat because I'm the boat. I own it. I shouldn't expect them to do it. It's my job, But I was so happy. I was like, hey, man, do you want to back the car down?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I don't actually... I'm not really that good at backing. And it was a long boat ramp. And he's like, I'll just do the boat. I'm like, fucking sweet.
Yeah.
So he lets me out. I jump up, fucking big long boat ramp, back down. Mate of mine's back down at the same time. Now, even though I don't have a bass boat, I bury the fuck out of the trailer because I drive it on because I don't like winch it on. So I'm in one lane, my mate's in the other lane. And old mate's come in and a bit hot.
Yeah, right.
And he's jackknifed her. And he's out to the side of the boat. I'm like, that's all good, man, just back it up. But he hasn't thrown it in reverse.
And he's hit her.
And he's jumped across me boat trailer. He's the motor's out of the water. And my electric motor was about 3 inches off the back of Keegan Painter's rear windscreen.
Shit.
And I was like, holy, and it was that stuck on there. I had to back and I had to get it off.
Sink your whole thing.
And he was so embarrassed. And I was like, if you've met me, I don't give a fuck about me gear. He didn't hurt. And I was just like, holy, but it was just the funniest fucking thing. To be there. And it happened in such a split second. But shout out to him. He was a top fella. And as I said, if you know who he is, you'd know that yarn. He's a fucking cool bloke, I reckon, talked about that for the next few years. A fucking ripper.
So I guess one of the ones that I've got where, oh no, I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but my old little mate, Swano.
Which one?
Aaron.
The big fella.
Yeah, the big Swano. So he said, oh, let's go down and fish the Clarence Valley Sports Fishing Club. They had a camp out, bass fishing down something's like
I know what you mean, yep.
Yeah, anyhow, they stay overnight and do whatever. But anyhow, so he's like, yep. He goes, I'll bring all the stuff down, cans, that, yep, righto. So anyhow,
and Swano loves a can.
Yeah, Swano loves a can. So anyhow, we've got everything in the car, taken my car, my boat, and we've gone down and got all the way there, set up and done whatever, had a few cans, and then tea come around. Anyhow, I said to Aaron, so fucking, did you pack a few sausages or something? He's like, no. And I'm like, well, fuck, what are we going to eat? And he's like, I don't know. And it was funny because I had a fucking yam sitting in the back of my seat I picked the day or two ago out of the garden. And so we pretty much cut up the yam and then scabbed food off everyone else. But the good news with that was that was probably the first and last time I ever won a local bass comp. So,
yeah, right.
So whether that's a good omen, don't bring any food and just heaps of cans.
I won't go into this yarn too much, but off the back of him, he's done that once before with me, and we had to eat raw yellow belly.
Wow.
Yeah, sashimi yellow belly. Let me tell you, not a hot tip, but after 75 beers, it didn't really matter.
Wow.
Shout out to Swano.
Well, you couldn't even get a fire going.
Oh, mate, we were in no state to be starting fires. Shout out to that legend. But, yeah, man, carry on.
Yeah, so...
See, this is... Tangents. Maybe we call this episode Tangents and Shit.
Tangents and Shit. Yeah, look, I think I've also upset a few deckies in my time as well.
Oh, yeah.
I won't mention their names, but I did turn the electric motor side on one time and max powder on 10 and threw the person out of the back in the
Shout
water.
out to Steve.
Shout out to Steve. Sorry about that.
Is that a good guess?
Yeah, it was. How'd you guess that? But yeah, so look, that's some of the other things, right? Is like a good decky and trusting a decky. I don't know what my little Pelican thing's doing. I think it's trying to escape.
You've got a tag on the Pelican.
Have I? Oh, there we go. Ooh. There we go.
He's called Tiger Doe.
I feel like it's replenishing the hair that I don't have. Like I feel like I've got a fringe over my head now, or a big whopping donga.
On the Pelicans, just quickly, tangent, here we go.
Yeah.
What are they going to think when we roll into after with these on?
Other than thinking we're complete dickheads, they're going to probably go, oh, that's them fucking idiots to do that podcast.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging the Pelican.
Yeah.
Righto, carry on.
I might have to give him a couple of blue pills, though. Mine keeps flopping down. It's a bit impotent or whatever.
We're 25 minutes in and he's done.
Yeah, that's it. No, he's not a marathon runner, that's for sure. Righto, so... oh dear.
Carry on.
Yeah, carry on. So look, I think with deckies, we've sort of gone through that, but when you just brought up about non-boaters before, we're not tarring them with that same brush, are we?
No.
No? Okay, I just wanted to double check.
Look, and I've been very vocal about this in the past, like boaters putting their hand out for petrol money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're the boater. You're there, you're going to spend money. If you can't afford to go, don't go. If you can't afford to put that... And I will never ask anyone for petrol money.
Yeah.
If they fold it up and hide it in the boat or here, $50, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to ask you for it. It's just simple as that.
Actually, one story that I would like to say, and I forget the fella's last name, I'm pretty sure he was Mark, but I could have this wrong, but I fished an ABT Bribey Island there a few years ago now, and I didn't ask for anything, but at the end of the day, he gave me a stainless steel set of line pliers.
Now, little gestures like that.
Look, I don't know how much they are. They seem bloody expensive. And this is probably going back 4 years ago now, and they still cut like the first day I got them. You know what I mean? Like,
and see, that's a thoughtful gesture,
100%.
And I'm all about that, 100%.
Yeah. And agree with you too. Like, when I've been in that position of being the boater, I've never asked for money. I never will. At the end of the day, like, I'm there doing that in my thing. You know what I mean?
That shouldn't come back on the other guy.
And I don't want them to supply any drinks or food. But if they throw me a couple of strawberries and cream, I'm like,
Talking about, I don't know if you've got this in there, but are we touching on the best deckies ever here in a minute, or is this be a good time to bring that up?
Oh, I don't know. Could we really put the best deckies out there? They only have moments of brightness, don't they? Or?
This is in the comp, but I had shout out to him, John Starkey, Michael Starkey's younger brother from Frogley's.
He's a nice bloke, yeah.
Top fella, John's an absolute legend. Yep. Had him, I'm pretty sure it was his first ever ABT at the Clarence. I had him as my non-boater, and I had a bit on that comp.
Yeah.
And I was way out of contention on the last day.
Yeah.
And we just went out, and literally he had chocky milks. He had bloody ham and pickle sandwiches and biscuits, and it was just a fucking fat day, and I just didn't give a fuck about fishing. It was just unreal, hey. It was just he was hands down one of the best non-boaters or deckies I ever had. Just was there to make my day better. I had a shit comp, but he brightened it up.
Look, I think it all comes in ebbs and flows in that respect. Like with the non-boaters, I think typically. I think there's that sort of stigma now that I think not all non-boaters know what's expected of them.
Yes, correct.
I think all boaters know what's expected of them as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any sort of ambiguity around, them sorts of things. I will say, I've had some funny things happen. There weren't, when you're trying to win these things, you're trying to, not win, but, compete well. But I remember I went down to Lakes Entrance for the first time down in Victoria, and the first day I went away from a spot, and I shouldn't have went. I should have just stayed there the whole time. Anyhow, I come back later that day and sort of got a couple, and I was probably 3/4 of the way back, and something like that. But the next day I thought, no, I'm going to stay here. I know that they're here, and I had this non-boater, and I can't think of their name, and I just started braining the fish. I caught probably about 40 brim that day, and he got to a point where he couldn't get one in the boat, and I'm like, man, here I'm using some hurricane lures. I'm like,
this is what you need to do here.
Just do this, do that. I said, I'm not from here, but this is what I've been told. Anyhow, and sure as shit, he caught one, and then the second one he caught, I really needed that in my bag.
Normally how it works, isn't it?
Yeah. So, and now flip side to that was that previous to that at Malakuta, I was doing something and it was sort of working, but wasn't quite. And then this guy goes, "Here, try one of these," because he was getting the fish a little bit quicker. We were sort of getting them around the same size, but anyhow, so we did that, or I changed up, and I borrowed a few things of his, and it worked well. So, it was a really good sort of thing to help out, because that's the first time I've ever fished in Victoria.
For sure. Mate, have you ever tried to kill a decky? Have you ever pulled a few stunts, done something a bit dumb? Because I have.
Yeah. Look, I think there was one time I had a non-boater in my boat, and it was just running commentary all day.
Yeah.
And there was...
Oh, you're talking about killing him because you were sick of him?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not sick of him, but I just thought, we're here to fish, we're fishing, but running commentary, geez, me back's sore. Your hatch here doesn't feel real sturdy, and all these sorts of things, and I'm like, righto, mate. I just want, when you go to these things and you pay your $250 or $70 as it is now, there's times where you want to focus in and hone in on and like fishing.
Yeah, for sure.
And basically, I just had a commentator at the back of the boat commentating about everything.
Name was Mark Parriott, was it?
No.
Shout out to Mark.
No. Actually, I think I've had Mark in my boat at Ballina.
He would have
once.
listed every serial number.
No, hang on. No, it wasn't Mark. I think I take that back.
Mark can list a serial number from 375 yards away and tell you his rego numbers on both the vehicle and how many cylinders and what oil it runs. Mark knows everything. Shout out to you, Mark.
But, like, flip side to that was, I think young Harry Schofield, like...
Big H,
little H, that...
He was eavesdropping on my phone conversation today, actually.
Oh, was he? Yeah. That was nice.
He was in the background, He's got no idea who I am, but shout out to you.
Yeah. But anyhow, long story short, it was his first non-boater event. We didn't really go that well that day. Didn't really get on the fish a lot. But like I said, I think in a previous podcast, he sort of, he come up after he won the non-boater, won a bass, said, said, man, thanks, it was really good that first time I fished in that ABT. And
that means a lot, hey?
That means a lot personally for me. And, like I said, he's a champion young fella. So, but look, I think moving forward with some of these things is that, where do you see the Decky go? Has the Decky, grown into something else, or is there an expectation that the Decky's a lot more or a lot less?
See, I don't know. I might be in a different situation. Like, I would never, I'm just going to use Flenny for example, because he's definitely the one I fish with the most.
Picking on you, Flenny.
Yeah, big shout out to you, F. He's going to be in the panel in a few episodes.
Perfect.
Look, I would never call him my Decky.
Yep.
Like, we're just mates going fishing, and I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, if you're if you're going Decky yards, like, you're going to be my Deckhand today.
Yep.
I'm going to tell a couple of other yards you're going to have as good day as like too far over there for listening to us fucking dribble.
100%.
But in a tournament, they're not your mate. You got no idea who these people half the time. So yeah, I think I don't know, man. Like, I think, and she reminded me. I've always socially fished by myself. I actually just remembered this. Always social fish by myself. So there's a bus there. We're about to throw. And then last couple of years since I got a bit older. So we hadn't all been together. Probably catching fishes and everything. I just want to go and sink tins and talk shit.
Look personally from my point of view.
Come for going to Brimcop. And never had anything to do with tournament fishing. Like, no, I don't know about it. If I'm in a tournament, I have to be in the boat by myself. If I'm social fishing, I like to go with you and have like every year and have a fucking base. Brim. Can we get back to me? And I'm putting a good brim in well.
Oh, sorry.
And obviously,
how do we skip over that?
I don't know.
So you're trying to kill your Decky?
Foot pedal with the other foot. Pelicans got a bit on there.
Really?
And actually, my boat has broken multiple deckhands right. And I think I can Nick Jordiatis, if I pronounce that right, Jimmy Hicks and Chris's old man. And I jump off the pedal. I'm pretty sure. Get a bit on it, get a bit back on it. Log jumping, buddy. Pretty sure I busted a few. Hit the pedal again and in my own boat, I had this swivel seat. I pulled up the electric, she's got that rod down next to the metres of brake, pulling around the propeller every time. And the chubby's just going off in the current. Probably the best one of recent years is my Decky that day. Damo. She did remind me of this one. Winter's young fella. Another brim toilet in the goal. I had him way up in the pen. As my observer, I was in a position to take. There's this little alcove thing in the mangroves. I could see the day two of the Bass Australian Open last year on the Clarence. I've never been. And I was in contention. I was in like fourth place, something like that. We're like a swarm, and they come into the boat. And I reckon, if you counted, there would have been over 1,000 bites. And when people say, "Oh, I thought there was far," they were just out of control. So I got out there as far as you can possibly go. Full noise to try and get rid of these things out of the boat. And I'm literally in agony.
We got to get going.
We got to get back this. I'm about 39 kilometres.
When there's like millions of them,
and I've got like
it is torture.
So I've ripped me fucking shirt off. Middle of the jumping like 8Ks and I just dived in the fucking river. As wide as and I'm just like, oh fuck, that is so much better than
get out of here.
I put my hands on
out of here. We ain't getting
and she's helping me in. And a
fucking
young bull shark, no word of a lie. He's probably like
a
15, 16.
Behind me, just clean jumps out of fucking. Let me tell you.
Well, if you remember Moses in the Red Sea, that's practically what I said. Put your jacket on, bud, and lay down on the floor. When I lay down in my pants, you can lay down and hang on to the pedestal. And we did 60 Ks out of that fucking creek the whole way, holding them flat.
Very minimal,
and didn't stop any of the log jumps.
I was fishing up around Grafton there once, and even at the best spot, it's probably only 5 metres wide.
Yeah, and there's I was on the top of the tide, and there's log jams where you physically got to trim up and all over it. We didn't trim up for nothing. We were just maxed out of there. I only had me 4 fish in a row. I needed one more and went back to Grafton. 5 minutes ago, got me 5th fish.
How you going, mate?
Got a big check. One of those checks up there, $15.
acknowledged me at all. Just kept going. There you go.
But
I know, like, probably 2 minutes later, this other guy comes strolling
fall through me hatches a few
and
times.
I said, "Oh, how you going, mate?" He goes, "Oh, you've got shit hatches."
I've got shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This has probably been in your boat.
No, look,
he was about to pick it up with his
tried to
hand,
kill
and then
Flinny
the
a few times, just doing stupid things within the boat. Like fucking, he hold my
so he
beers
just
sort of
went into
shit.
full shot.
That's just the kind of bad decky moment.
Yeah. Like, there's nothing better than going in. Balls
we've got the bus
into
out.
a forest of trees.
No,
It's going to go lower, isn't it, with your deck?
She did bring up Vanuatu.
Funny you say that.
Now, we are going to touch on my
earlier this year, shout out to
holiday
Keegan Payne.
fishing adventures in
Had the
another
big unit
episode
on me,
because
but
there's
come
some
actually
pretty
stay
cool
here home for a
information
couple of
there
days.
on
We'll
how to
fish
travel and fish
for the
But
ABT coming up.
We're over
And
in
he hadn't
Vanuatu
caught
fishing
fishing
on
on
3 days.
Right.
And I was like, honeymoon, you fucking book
I'm
a
going on
fishing
Saturday.
charter.
Yep.
Just jump in with me.
So I'm going to punch this story out.
We're not going to be any secret spots.
Yeah,
Just jump in
yeah,
mate.
yeah.
And where I was, he
We're
would
at the
never
airport,
been taking his
the
boat.
no-name brand
And we went up
log
in a little
also.
secret
We're
creek.
not going to
Okay.
name them.
Yep.
In a
fucking
road
log
trip.
across
Yep.
it.
And he's like, oh,
PVC,
fuck that. And I'm looking up
Yes,
and I'm like,
yep.
oh, it looks good.
Out comes the
Yeah,
Rodney
yeah.
goes, oh, you're
What a
there,
shame,
watching you
man.
playing fucking
What a
out.
shame.
Here's
What a
me
shame.
rod
Mate,
tube with
that's
all my
like
stickers
fuck,
on, just
that's like
chilling
a
out.
bad
Well, bud, fucking keep
And if anyone wants to
throwing
watch the video, head over to Jolt Lils and Insta.
Joey's
We'll
little
reel
reel
off there
off
on
the
the
trolley,
just
playing
playing
rolls in underneath
the air
straight through.
yeah.
And I'm like,
That's just, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
you're
right.
not
My
living
rod
if you're not
gets
having a
stuck
fucking
there.
crack. I'm going to fucking
Yeah,
jump
100%.
anyway. So he spotted me rod tube and he's just give it the fucking heave up into the plane. I was like, fucking Jesus. Anyway,
Yeah.
long story short, we fucking get in the charter. Like 20 minutes in, I just explode my rod on a fucking huge GT in about a gazillion pieces. And I've just looked at my wife and looked at her rod. So I fished with my lovely wife's rod the whole time. And about an hour to go on the charter, exploded it into 100 pieces. So shout out to the baggage handlers.
Yeah.
So we got this little guide and he was like, we didn't go on a big expensive charter. It was just like the cheapy longboat fucking... They had no spare fuel tanks. It was just a water drum with a plastic bag under the lid. She was pretty high tech. And I said, you have tackle store. Yes, we take you to tackle store.
Yeah, you know what? That is one of the things that I have to bring up was I made the old rod tube and that back in the day, but I did it the night before.
Yeah.
Right? I brought all this shit, didn't have time to put it together, was going up to a mate's place at Brisbane. Anyhow, we pretty much whacked it together that night, right? Anyhow, so the worst part about that is if you ever have the pipe glue shit, right, and you go through the airport check the next day,
Not a good idea.
They think you've been making bombs.
Yeah.
So next minute I've been pulled aside and someone else has been pulled aside and basically we're getting the third degree with all these other little things happening to us. So,
You had a bit on.
be careful of that.
Be careful.
Be careful.
What do you reckon that wraps up today's fucking topic? We've gone on way too many tangents.
Yeah, I think so. Look, what I'd like to see, if we can, from our viewers, like just hopefully we'll whack a reel together. Yeah. This could be the reel now, but with our little pelican heads. But what makes, above the laptop, what makes a good decky?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. Drop a comment on the bottom of that reel. We can do comments on the bottom of reels.
Or let us know about the fucking shithouse deckhand you had.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
name and shame that motherfucker.
Ooh, savage.
Savage. Now, Mick, because
Yeah,
these
I'm going to put this on with the fucking pelican on.
well,
you.
yeah, it's a bit on here. Oh, actually, let's just quickly talk about. So we've got some new earphones going on here. Now, I have ordered new podcasting equipment.
Yep.
I've ordered it, and I'm like, where the fuck's my podcasting
They're
equipment?
still making it.
Mick goes, why don't you check the tracking, brats? They're sending it by sea. And in what we think maybe a sailboat or a canoe.
Yeah, sailboat or canoe, yeah.
But
yeah.
so the legends have gotten behind us, and we have 3 yarns.
We got 3 yarns, so that's really good.
So we're just going to fucking roll them all.
Let's go.
So let's dive into the first one. Ooh, I've lost my pelican.
Oh yeah, no, keep the pelican attached.
Righto. Let's dive in here.
Show us your pelican.
That'd be a good reel.
That
You go.
Yeah, someone go.
You go.
It's your story.
It's not my story.
Yeah.
It's your story.
So, we're just cruising along down the boat, down the dam. Yeah, I'm driving, a couple of cans. Next minute, all the boys blowing up. Didn't think much of it, just kept going. Next minute, this boat comes screaming up on the left-hand side. Anyway, so I've turned around to see what the fuss is. There's another boat there. He's blowing up, reckons I've cut him off. I've turned around, old Davo,
Disco
Tangles, he's going off. Old Disco Dave. He's like, what? what have we done? You want to go to the boat? Rah. Anyway, so we just keep going. We go fishing, having a good little cast, and then old Disco Dave. Dave, how about you tell us about your story and your little bait caster?
Well, every time I've used the bait caster about 3 times.
Sounds like he's got to drink a bit.
Yeah, it was pretty tough, taking out my fucking rod and having a flick. Every time I flick it with the bait caster, I was that pissed and ripping it out of my hand.
That's fucking great.
I was diving into the water after me rod. What did happen? 3 times.
3 times.
3 fucking times. So
Disco
my
Dave the
nickname
Tangles.
got, what was it? Tangles. Every time I go, I've got this, got it, all over it like a rash. Fucking, fuck me rod. And I'm over the side, fucking trying to get me rod out of the water. What did I have? Probably about three quarters of a southern double jacks before we even got there. So I was more fucked up than anything.
Aaron.
And my mate's going to me, Aaron's going to me going, how the fuck are you staying in the boat? You still you're digging the rod on as you pivot over the top and grab your rod. And I'm like, well, that'll do. Anyway, I got my rod back. Never got a fucking thing. But anyway, yeah, that was a good trip.
Now, the boys have got a bit on there. I think, they had a bit on when they've told you that yarn. And they had a bit on when that yarn happened.
Yeah, so Disco Dave and the BC crew did go for a little fishing mish, which that story has come out of. But look, they love a can. They absolutely love cans. And cans are generally the winner on the day, not the fish.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a feeling that they're going to make an appearance at an event that we're going to talk about here at the end of the show.
Yeah. I think we'll leave that.
We'll leave that to the end, mate. No, good to hear from those legends, and thanks for just getting involved. You know, although you had to literally go to the house and record that, that's all right.
Oh well, look, you know they were blessed with my presence. So.
Right now, we're going to dive in here to our most favourite caller to the Two Pelicans show.
Hey, legends.
Here he is.
The Yamby Yabby here.
Hey,
Still building coasters and posters and giving away toasters. So I'm right into the Olympics at the moment. By the way, huge shout out to Charlotte Caslick, the women's pole vault and the female Jamaican sprint teams. But all seriousness, how do you make fishing an international sport? Is there any chance we can all come together all over the world and create an even playing field to make a decent international competition? Love to hear your thoughts, legends.
Oh, you're going to hear me thoughts.
Yeah, look, I'm going to start with even playing field. Well, that's interesting.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to answer this too much now for the Yamby Yabby.
Yep.
Because coming on in a few episodes' time, we've got someone that is going to be able to dive into this a lot more with us.
Yeah, sure.
What I'm going to say about that is, I said, for the Yamby Yabby, basically now there's the fishing worlds.
Yes.
So all countries from around the world go to a different country each year to compete in the worlds.
Yep.
Now, how that is decided is a little bit
up in the air,
which I definitely want to dive into. Unpack. But there is things out there now where the country can compete on a global level.
Right.
Being a level playing field, that's just never going to happen because there's not the one species in every countries. But no, that is a fantastic question there, toaster, poster, man.
So, like, just with that too, and like, you know, I mean, you look at the Hobie Worlds, you know, they all get the same canoes. Back when Bassmaster was in its, you know, I wouldn't say prime, but back in them 70s and that, they all got the same boat, right?
In the classics, they had the same boat.
Classics, in the same boats. But
that's as level as you're going to get.
That's as level as you're going to get, and you're 100% right. Like, how does someone go to another country and fish for pike, you know, that's from Australia or something like that?
Realistically, it's no different. What's happened?
That's a tracking cancelled?
No, we're good. She's recording, Buzz.
Oh.
We're not cutting that either. We're leaving that in.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, we're good. The Pelicans thought it was a bit... Oh, here we go.
Looks like it says tracking.
Yeah, that just means that it stopped tracking our pelican heads.
Oh, really? We better get them going again. Get
the blue
punch some fucking blue pills into these things, would you?
Look, I think it's no different to like you can going fishing on a non-local waterway. You're never going to have an advantage wherever you go. But no, shout out to you, mate. And
well done, Yamby.
Yet again, he is going to make an appearance at event that we're going to talk about in a minute. Now, got a little bit of an email here. Now,
an email.
We got an email here from a gentleman, the Mexican.
The Mexican.
Now, before I quickly dive into this,
do you want me to read this, or do you want to read it?
I can read it.
Okay,
you can read it.
No, you read it.
Should I put a Mexican voice on?
Neither. Yeah, right.
Now look, before we read this, where the fuck is it? Before we read this, what we're going to say is I feel a little bit of caller rivalry coming on.
Oh.
Yeah, I think maybe we're going to have a little bit of interaction between some of our callers. So
okay.
Let's dive into this. Hey, you two Pelicans needs to learn how to spell hey. He's clearly from hey. The Mexican here, two things. Not enough cans get consumed during the podcast.
Right.
Which we will, yes, says the bloke that's had 3 rum tins in half an hour here.
Yeah.
There you go, Mexican. Now, he said the Yamba Yabby. Sounds like he needs another packet of Winnie Reds. He must sell Johnson's for a living and spend all his time at the Second Tavern in Clarence. Now, we'll dive into that a little bit. On a serious matter, fish stocking. Some big numbers of fish get released into our impoundments every year.
Yeah.
These fish often eat their own to survive. Question, has there ever been any research into stocking bait fish into these impoundments to improve the survival rate of the target species being released, i.e. 10 bait fish released per target species? Over and out, the Mexican.
Wow, that's
a great question.
That is a really, really good question.
Before we dive into that...
Yeah, we need to address the two things up here.
Now, sounds like he needs another pack of Winnie Reds. Mate, the Mexican, I'm going to call the Mexican out. The fact that he's emailed us and not rung up, maybe you've had too many Winnie Reds and you can't fucking talk properly.
Well, maybe from Mexico, they probably can't make the phone call.
No, maybe not. No, they haven't got electricity down there yet. But look, on regards to the Yamba Yabby smoking Winnie Reds, when we eventually have the Yamba Yabby on this show, our visual people will totally be able to understand where this all comes from.
He's an athlete. That's why he's been watching the Olympics.
He has been. But
he could have been there.
Nah, legend, thanks, mate. But no, look, I'm not going to probably answer this. I'm going to actually do my research.
We might do some research on that. I'm going to do some. That's a cracking question.
I've actually got a couple of people I can reach out to here.
Yeah, okay, cool.
From fisheries that I know. So, Mexican, just hold on that one, mate. I don't want to give you a bullshit answer.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of an idea, but we're going to actually just
we'll go to the experts.
We'll go to the experts for that one. But... thanks heaps for all the calls, guys. Don't forget, if you want to get involved with the show, it is just simply send in your voice recording to the 2 Pelicans podcast at gmail.com.
Or send us, if you can't talk or send or do a
If you had too many Winnie Reds.
If you had too many Winnie Reds, just send us an email.
But the other thing is too, if you don't know the whole voice recording thing, just video yourself.
Yep.
Or video the wall you talking. I can pull the audio file off it. We don't need to see shit.
Yep.
Just send it to us on Facebook Messenger. It's as simple as that, if the other way is too hard.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap things up, because this has been a bumping show, I've absolutely had a cracker tonight. This is fantastic.
Go the Deckies.
Go the Deckies, but it's been good. It's just been good to yarn and tell a bit of shit and sink a few beers, or sugarcane champagnes. The event. I've just got to do that. Oh, no, you've lost your...
What have I done?
You've lost
gobbies.
Got a bit on it.
Right.
Our event coming up.
Yeah, so...
we're not going to drop a date yet.
No, we're not dropping a date, but we are looking with the approval of the publican of the Brushgrove Hotel.
Which has been a big supporter of ours.
Yep. For a long time.
For a long time, and...
prior to the podcast.
And we want to give a little bit back to them. They had us there for our first couple of shows.
Yes.
Look, I'm not tooting our horn, but the show's going really good. We're happy with where we're at.
Yep.
So we're looking at filming podcast 20. She's going to be a blowout.
Podcast 20. Yep.
If the podcast goes for 5 hours, fucking so be it.
So be it.
So the plan is we're going to release times and dates later on.
Yes.
But when we get towards episode 20, we're going to look at it.
Yep.
It's going to be towards the end of the year, Mick.
Yes.
So basically what's going to happen is we're gonna get there earlier and film another podcast before we get on the tins.
Yep.
Then we'll say, hey, at this time we're gonna start recording. Our new equipment will be there. We'll be all set up, all mic'd up, cameraed up, all ready to go.
Yeah.
Rock up to the pub, grab a beer,
and
just we'll have a little line up.
Yep.
And if you want to line up, jump on the potty.
Yep.
tell us a yarn, have a quick yarn, whatever you want to do. If there's 10 people there...
We might even actually take a mic out into the yarn.
We might. We might even get around. We'll work out the logistics of that. But we want to get you guys, even if we do some of it at the desk and then we get up and walk around the pub.
Yes.
If we've got 10 guys there, we want to get 10 guys on. If we've got 50 guys there, we're going to fucking get 50 guys on. It's as simple as that. We want to have a chat to you guys. We want to give back to you guys. Now, not only will you be giving back to us, you're going to help out the Brushgrove Hotel. You're going to come, we're going to have a feed, we're going to fucking sink some piss. Glenn's going to look after us, but we're going to look after him. So, we've said it before.
We're probably going to look after a couple of guys that are there. We'll put a few packs together,
Yeah, I think if you're going to make the effort to come, and we'll get some numbers beforehand so we can sort of give Glenn a bit of a heads up, in case 100 of you legends decide to turn up.
Or two.
Look, we'll do some giveaways on the night. Maybe if we have, say, 10 or 15 guys there and they all tell us a yarn, we might give $100 open or in the bar or something, $50 for some beers for the best yarn, whatever, something like that. But
perfect.
We're going to dive into details at a later date. We're going to nut down the days. Time's probably going to be something like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we need to start mid-afternoon and just being respectful to the establishment there.
We want to be finished by 5-ish. People coming in to have dinner.
That's right.
Because last time we got there was a party arrived and we sort of needed to vacate.
Yes.
But put it in your books tentatively and just let us know. Send us a message or we might put a poll up. Who's keen to come?
Let's put a poll up
to the Pelicans catch up. And this isn't to make us money. It's not going to make us any money. The only bloke that's going to be making money is the bloke that owns the Brushgrove fucking hotel.
That's right.
We just want to meet you guys and we just want to have a fucking beer.
And a chat, a yarn, a get together.
And for you guys that have supported us so much so far, this is already, I know it's only episode 20, but for us that's a milestone. Originally
it will be a milestone.
We want to make 20. So put it in your diaries tentatively, let us know. The poll will be up. Who's going to come and shout me at sugarcane champagne. But mate, cracking episode.
Yes.
A shout out to you also, without the two of us, the way it works, it's a bit of a yin and yang thing, the way it's all coming together. We've been making it work. And
no, it's been going really well. And look, we've been slotting in other than Essential Energy fucking us around that time.
We've had another power breakdown. Can I quickly tell you my power breakdown?
Really?
The power's let us down again.
Oh, yeah.
Just quickly.
Yeah.
Friday night, head off to Evans Head for my young blokes rugby.
Is this a mud gudgeon story?
Oh, should I save this for now? No, we might save it.
Save it. We'll
save it for next week's mud gudgeon. Essential Energy, you're up. But, mate, if the Pelicans, we've already mentioned it before, but let us know one more time, where do they get in touch with us?
Yeah. Look, all you need to do is get in touch with us by Gmail, 2pelicans.podcast@gmail.com. Look, we're all on the socials. We're on Instagram, Facebook. Shoot us a message if you don't want to send an email. Like Joey said there before, if you just want to film the wall and talk and send it in by messenger or something to that effect.
I have the technology to cut you out.
Yeah. So, look, we just we want to have that interaction.
Yeah.
And we look forward to continuing that in the future episodes.
100%. And let me tell you, you're not going to want to go anywhere because the next 5 episodes, there's going to be lots of beer.
Lots of beer.
And there's going to be some fucking cracking yarns, international yarns. You're definitely going to want to hang around.
We're going to have some dudes. We're going to have some dudes on.
We're going to have some time.
Proper dudes.
Yeah. And a big shout out to our Patreon. There's not a heap of guys over there, but the guys that are there, we really appreciate you. Now, I'm in the processes of hooking up a sponsor for our Patreon. Now, what that's going to mean is if you go over and you pay your $3 a month, there's going to be a prize pack each month given away.
Perfect.
That prize pack could be about $40 value. It's going to be about 2 lures or maybe 3 packs of soft plastic, something like that. So for $3, if there's only 15 guys in there, you got a 1 in 15 chance every month of winning $40. So
too easy.
Head over. It's the 2 Pelicans at Patreon. Sign up, search us. We'd really appreciate that support.
And I'm sure that these Pelicans would have been more than $3.
We're not going to talk about how much these Pelicans were. Let's just say we're in the negative.
We're in the negative. We're in the black.
Let's wrap this up.
Righto. All right. Yep.
Big shout out to you guys. I'm Joey.
I'm Mick.
You've been listening to the 2 Pelicans.
Hooroo.
We'll catch you next week.
Bye.